What to do when you're feeling disappointed, angry, and frustrated with yourself or life. Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to my channel. This past week was such a challenge. It was so hard for me to get through, and it was just like one of the worst weeks I've had in a very long time. It was like the week from hell. And so basically this was like, around my female cycle, like where my emotions were super heightened. I was very sensitive. I was having a very hard time trying to control my emotions, and I was just I also very disappointed in myself and frustrated for where I'm at right now, because it's almost the end of January, and I had all these big ideas and plans of like what I was going to do in January, or at least have a plan already in the beginning of January, and that didn't happen. And there was a lot of frustration around myself, and then people were upsetting me, like at work, everything I touched broke. Just like my machines that I was working on were either breaking, or something was wrong with them, or the software wasn't working, or the software was crashing. And it was just like, it was a combination of life and like work. It was just like super frustrating for me, and I was super down, I was super depressed, and I was just I just was like, what the hell? Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I was just really frustrated. And I got very negative in my mindset. And it's probably the most negative I've been in a long time. And so it really took me out, honestly. And it just was really frustrating for me. So I want to get into what I learned from it, and how, what to do if you're stuck into something like that, or have, any disappointment with yourself or anything. And I'm just going to go into it. One thing, from all my training and what I know, I remind myself that, each day is its own day, and tomorrow is another day. And so we have a chance tomorrow to make, a better day, or have a better day, mentally, because it is up to our control, how we want to react for the next day, or what kind of state we want to be in. And don't get me wrong, I know when we don't feel good, or we're in pain, or our health isn't at capacity, or we're not able to think clearly, that a lot of times this can be a lot harder to work through. And so sometimes it can be a week long of hell, like I had. And it's just something that we all go in weird rough patches, and it's temporary. That's the one thing I want you all to remember, is it's temporary. It's not permanent. Eventually, and sometimes it feels like it's going to be forever, and it's not. And it's even if it is weeks long, you will come out of it, and it will be better on the flip side. This happens to be a rough or tough time, one of those two. So I just want you all to know that it's temporary. Don't forget that. Yeah, so there was a lot of things going on for me, obviously, work, life, friendships, dealing with myself, and my respect for myself. And it just was I had so much disappointment around where I'm at, and I was just I was pissed off as well. And I think it was just too many things happening at once, and it was almost a full-on collapse. And I wasn't sleeping as well either, or I wasn't, just wasn't feeling good, mentally or physically, and it just was affecting my whole week. And so, some things I learned is like I said earlier, it's everything's temporary. Each day is its own day, but there's ways to, get through the day. So let's say you're having a crap day and you need to go take a break. Sometimes these are ways that we can work through. So one thing would be meditation. So if you're stuck and you need to take a break, or go sit in your car and listen to a 5 to 10 minute meditation, just to calm your nervous system down. Therefore it will make you less reactive, or probably less emotional as well, because it will reclaim your power back in a way. Excuse me. And so also, this could be something like an inner child meditation, or this could be just a calming meditation, or it could be listening to a 432 frequency to calm your body down, and just give yourself like a 10-minute break and just listening to that and with no interruptions and just closing your eyes and just observing your thoughts, not like sitting there like criticizing your thoughts of like what's coming through. But it's like, it's also just like allowing let's say you need to cry or yell, like do it. Like, don't, if you don't want to do it in front of people, that's fine too. Like, go in your car or find a pillow, scream in your pillow, cry into your pillow. Like, don't suppress those emotions, because you need to let them out. Like, if it's bad to suppress them, because then like it becomes trapped energy. And so it's really important to let all that out. Like, crying, you're angry, you're frustrated, just like, I don't know, go take a walk or nature or, something where you get out of your head and into your body and like, flow or move your body or, go for a walk and get some exercise or, because sometimes like, just, moving your body can help a lot, because if you stay out of your head, then a lot of times you're able to, calm your nervous system and not be so reactive. Because I know for me, like if I'm stuck in my head, I'm like, God, like, why are you in this position again? Or why am I dealing with this part of my life again? Or why do I keep hitting this pattern? For me, it was like, I'll tell myself. So I overdrank the weekend prior to my birthday, and it literally ruined my whole weekend. And I was super mad at myself because I, have been trying really hard to be better at drinking and not drinking as much. And it got away from me, and it just caused so many problems. It's like I didn't remember anything the next morning of what happened, and like a few of the stories I heard were not good, and I was really upset, and I felt like I had just like gone back to my like 2 years ago of where I was, and I just felt like I was like, why am I back in this position? And I just think I'm just kind of like in a position where I'm a little lost, or I don't have a lot of clear direction with where I want to go. And so if I don't have a clear direction, then like obviously I'm going to be upset and frustrated because I don't know what I'm working towards, if that makes sense. And so for me, I was like, for the beginning of January, I wanted to have excuse me, I wanted to have a plan, for at least 3 months of like what I'm going to do to, get where I want to be, by the end of this year or even by June. And like, so what are the kind of steps I need to take in order to, achieve those goals. And so I don't even have those written down, and I'm like, crap. I'm already in like at almost the end of January, and I'm like, I don't have my plans figured out or my goals. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm just bouncing all over the place and like frustrated at myself of where I'm at. And so I think it's just like, it was almost like a depression, and it caused me to use drinking as a coping mechanism. And it's super detrimental, because it actually ends up setting me back farther than, it would if I wouldn't have drank so much, because then the rest of my weekend probably wouldn't have been ruined. And so, or I would have felt a little bit better. And so it just was really frustrating to me, because I'm like, dang it. I felt like I was like back to where I was 2 years ago in a way. And I was like, I don't want that anymore. And I just was like, I don't want to do this. And so then it was just like, and then the whole rest of the horrible week continued. Obviously, I also didn't feel well, not just from being hungover, but it was also from like, my female cycle. And it was just like, it was everything compounding at once. And so it's just like during this week I started learning like, okay, like obviously I can't control my female cycle. Like I can't control when that happens. So and then I can't, I could control like the amount of alcohol I drank. I could control like all these different things, but I didn't. So it's like and then I started beating myself up about it, and I realized that that's actually not productive. And so I had to remind myself and start like a forgiveness for myself, because I was so lost and broken, and I was just so frustrated, and I was like, I just need to forgive myself and give myself love, because if I don't forgive myself, then I'm just going to keep beating myself up over it. It is in the past. There's nothing I can do to change that. It's just, what steps can I do to move forward, and how can I like get rid of the guilt and the shame and the frustration from all of that and just move forward. And so sometimes it's like just taking a lot of deep breaths, like, breathe in like 5 seconds or 5 breaths, or sorry, breathe in 5 seconds, hold for like 6, blow your air out for like 8. And keep repeating this on a regular, and just allow yourself to just get present, and like be mindful of like where you're at, and just like bring yourself into the now instead of the past or the future. Because I was like freaking out between the past and the future, and I was like, this isn't working. This is really frustrating, because I'm worried about my future, because there's certain goals I want to hit, but I'm not taking the action towards them. And then in the past, like, I'm like, crap, like I'm just beating myself up of what I did. And so it just was really frustrating. And and there's only so much, like, let's say, venting can do. And so, not everybody wants to listen to everyone's drama. So it's like, how can I deal with myself so that I don't have to, like, project all that drama or that negativity onto someone else? So basically, it's like meditation, take a walk in nature, go exercising for me. Journaling for me is huge. It's like, I feel like it's almost, sometimes it's better for me than meditation, because I'm able to write everything out, all my angers, all my frustration, without having to worry how I say it, what way I say it. I can curse, I can just completely like beat myself up in there, and then just let it go. And it's like, it's just like, it's the way so I don't suppress my emotions, because I was mad at myself and frustrated and disappointed in myself, because it's like I've come so far to not take steps backwards, because I just was like, I was just in a bad spot. But yeah, so I'll keep going with like what else I'm gonna go over. So obviously, because I was like feeling depressed, like I was realizing that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and like trying to control every situation or outcome, and I was like, this is not working. So once I realized, even at work, like I was trying to control like the situation of like my software is not, or crashing, my machines weren't working, and I was about to like throw in the towel and just walk out. But I was like, no, like, okay, what is like a step I could take, instead? Like, do I keep working at it, or do I need to take a break and walk away for a minute and then come back to it with like a fresh brain because I'm frustrated? Or like, do I need to call somebody like IT? Like, so it's like thinking of like different plan B's and, C's and D's. Like, it's just like, what other action could you take? Or if if you are frustrated and you're stuck, like maybe talk to somebody and be like, hey, I'm stuck in this. Like, can you see any other way I could go about this so that I can, get out of whatever either situation, or like, is there a way that I'm not thinking about because I'm stuck in it, like that you could recommend? And then, actually listen to them. Like, and if they have good advice, then take it. If they don't, they don't. And so it's like, so yeah, that's a big thing. It's like, for me, I was learning like, oh, what are other ways to go about this, or what are other options, or, because I don't want to be stuck. And I know that like sometimes I can get very stuck in my head, or it's almost like I can't see outside the box because I'm so frustrated, angry, and like all the emotions are stored in. And so sometimes I just need to step away, walk away, and come back to it with a fresh brain. Even if it's just getting up to walk, and like just walk for 5 minutes and then come back. Just something, or like take some deep breaths and close your eyes, or walk outside, enjoy the sunlight if there's any sunlight for a minute, and just really presence yourself and just ground yourself. And so then it's like, then you're like, okay, what do I do now instead of like in the future or in the past? Like, what are the steps I could take now? There's some other ways to get through like these tough times, or, you know, if you're disappointed in yourself, is just to, you know, pick like, if you're overwhelmed, like pick 1 to 2 things that you know you need to do to get done, you know, for whatever your priority is, and do those 2 things, and then you can move on to the next ones. But it's just taking one small bite, you know, at a time, or one small step at a time, and just focus on what you have to do now instead of what you have to do in the future. Because sometimes if you're thinking about the future, it takes you longer to actually do those 2 things, because you're so caught up in like, well, I have to get those done, that done too, and I'm working on this now. And it's like, just calm yourself down and just focus on only 1 to 2 things, and then when you're done with those, then move on to the next thing. But it's like, allow yourself to only do, you know, 1 to 2 things, and don't beat yourself up over it if you don't get to the other stuff. So essentially, it's like also giving yourself grace, and just like allow yourself to, you know, not feel rushed, and just be patient, and know that like you are where you're supposed to be. You're in the process of like dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with now, but it's only temporary. And it's like, it's also like working on your taking care of your health and your stress, and just working through it, and like, and maybe even scheduling, you know, a few weeks out of like what you want to get done. But like, don't overexert yourself, because then if you do, then your body will reject, and you might end up getting sick because you're overexerting yourself. I know from experience. And I know like if you overstress yourself, then, you know, you can also make yourself sick as well, because it's like all the emotions, and it's just like it becomes stored in your body, and it's just your body immune system is like trying to work through that harder. And so then your body just starts to kind of break down in a way. Some other things to remember: if you're disappointed or angry or frustrated with yourself, do your best not to like take it out on others, because it's not something that that they're dealing with, you know, or that you should put on them or project onto them. Trust me, I know this is hard, because I know sometimes if I'm not feeling well or I'm upset, I can tend to snap. And it's just like, it's just trying to be aware of the fact that you are angry, and that like maybe if you need to go take a step away, or tell somebody, hey, like I need to go take a step away because I'm just not, you know, feeling it right now. Like if you need to go walk, then go, you know, take the time, tell them, and go for a walk, just to calm yourself down, because it's just not worth getting into an argument or like getting mad at somebody because it's not their fault, you know. Another thing is like, don't cope with like by using like alcohol or drugs. It's only just going to suppress it temporarily, because it's still going to come back up. And like, because when you do suppress it with alcohol, drugs, it like, you can end up actually being more shameful or guilty or disappointed in yourself, because you may not like how, you know, the night went or something, you know. Just like, don't put yourself in that position, because then you might feel worse, if that makes sense. Also, it's like, I know this can be sometimes tough in the moment, but like, you know, try to laugh, like try to find like a comedy thing and listen to that for like 10 minutes, so you get some like endorphins going, so that like it can bring you kind of out of your funk. Shoot, like even start laughing at like the ridiculousness of like everything that happened. For me, I just had to just give in. It was just like I had to surrender and just start laughing. It was literally like everything I touched this past week broke or didn't work, and I was just like, oh my god, like what else could go wrong? Also, don't ask yourself that, because I made that mistake, and you never know. Yeah, don't even allow yourself to say that. And so it was just like, what else could go wrong? And I was just so upset, and I was just like, oh my god, I just can't seem to snap out of this funk. And so, I mean, it took, I don't know, it was a full week of being in a funk, pretty much. And it was just like, I could not get anything to work well. And I just like, I had to remind myself, like, you know, try to be flexible, like let it go. Don't try to control everything. It's just some weeks are just going to be shitty, And, just got to take one day at a time and, write things out, meditate, do something that like inspires you or makes you happy. Do something that you love so that like you don't feel like you're in such a negative state, because the whole point is to not be in that negative state. So like other ways, it's like breathing exercises, obviously. Also writing like what you are grateful for every day, like at least three to five items or 3 to 5 things every day that you're grateful for. Because if you put yourself into gratitude and what you do have, then you're more likely to be like, okay, this isn't as bad. Because a lot of times, like, because of our emotions, we feel like the week is the worst week ever, where there's a lot of people that are having way worse weeks than us and still getting through those weeks. And like, it's not easy. I understand that completely, and I have complete sympathy and empathy for everybody and love, because I know I personally go through it myself. I'm not better than anybody. I'm literally going along the journey of life with everyone as well. And so it's just like, yeah, just try to find ways to uplift your spirits, like comedy, or like, yeah, just give yourself love and grace, and just even start, I would even like on top of the gratitude list, like also, start, writing out like, I forgive myself, basically. And it's just like, and you just keep repeating that to yourself. I forgive myself. Forgive myself, like, and it's okay to feel like angry or upset in my body. Like, it is like, it's okay, like everything will be okay. And just like keep telling yourself that, both of those, that it is going to be okay, and that you forgive yourself. Even if you may not like fully forgive yourself at that point, eventually as you keep saying it, you will start like actually believing it. It might take a while. Like, I know some, I think I say like, I forgive you, or I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And if you say that over and over again, then like it actually can help you calm you down. And it actually, I'll actually say it too as I go to sleep. So then a lot of times I'll fall asleep just saying that in my head over and over again. And it's just like, sometimes it could be 20 times. Like, it's just something where it's like, if you are really in such a shitty week, like, just give yourself grace. Allow yourself to forgive yourself or forgive others, or, give yourself a few days and then forgive somebody. Like, don't hold on to that or dwell onto it, because then that becomes all stored energy in your body, and it's not good. And it's not good for your body to hold on to all that, upset and frustration on on a regular. So yeah, just remember, that's super important. Just remember, you're not broken, that we all we all have our own issues and things and our shitty weeks, and just keep going. Just don't ever stop. Just never quit, and just keep going. And eventually you'll come out of a funk, no matter how long you feel like you've been in it. I've been in a funk one time for like months. But it's just like, it's allowing yourself to work through it, not get discouraged at yourself, and just keep working through each and every day, and take each day at a time. Like, don't worry about the past or the future. Just keep moving forward, and you will get through this. Everyone will, because I know I can, and I know I'm a stubborn person. So like, I love you guys, and I know you all can do this. If you're having a tough week, let me know in the comments below. Or how are you working through, tough weeks? Or what did you take away from this video? And let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more info. Let's rise like a phoenix. Never quit, never give up. I love you.